When Father John McNichols celebrated Jesus' first Mass in 1922, he was standing a mile outside of the city. He was standing where University of Detroit Mercy's campus is now, but then the border of the city was at Fenkell. One of the nuns that taught the first class of Jesus students in 1925 described her surroundings as a pioneer experience because the students had to travel across farmland and clover fields to attend their classes. But if there was anything that defined Detroit at this time, it was change. And the houses that now make up Palmer Woods, University District, and Sherwood Forest were built in the decade leading up to the Great Depression. And the areas were completely annexed by the city in 1926. These houses were built by professionals, auto executives, professors, doctors, union leaders, some of the same professions that the residents in these neighborhoods today still hold. The professions, however, are one of the few things that the neighbors of today and of 1922 have in common. These neighborhoods have seen many transformations, and they've changed a lot throughout their history. One of the two biggest changes that you can see are in the race and religion of the neighborhood's residents. In the middle of the 20th century, these neighborhoods were predominantly Jewish and Catholic and completely white. This changed in the years leading up to and following the riots of 1967, as white families moved out to the suburbs. The story of white flight is a little different in these neighborhoods, though, because when white families moved out, the homes were purchased by both black and white families from different parts of the city. So these neighborhoods became and remain, comparatively to many other parts of the city, integrated. And with this integration came a new set of challenges. Some older black residents may remember the discrimination they faced when they first purchased their home. Some older white residents may remember organizations that formed to encourage white families to not sell their house and stay on their block to, quote, save the neighborhood. In my opinion, it's very interesting to not only look at these trends of changes in the neighborhoods, but also to look at the individual stories of the people that lived here. And there's a long list of notable Detroiters that chose these neighborhoods as their home. There are politicians. Jerry Kavanaugh, the mayor of Detroit during the riots, lived here. There are athletes. Piston John Sally lived in Palmer Woods. Legendary Tigers catcher Mickey Cochran lived here. The first owner of the Lions, George Richards, lived in University District and had the meeting to decide whether Detroit could form an NFL team in his home on Parkside. Entertainers lived here, Motown stars, Saturday Night Live comedian Gilda Radner. And it is stories of individuals that we are going to see tonight, of both the present and the past. So I would like to introduce Extra Mile Playwrights with Voices from the Neighborhood.
Just moved. And with her, 25 years of not knowing her. Now, don't get me wrong. We talked across the fence, and I commented about the flowers she grew and asked her how her kids were. But come on. How come I didn't know she had a cat? I mean, for 10 years? No. I don't know what the name of the cat was, is. It doesn't matter anymore. Anyway, she left. The moving van was here all day yesterday, And I wanted to say something. Like, you never know how much you have until you have to move. Instead, I just waved, and she waved back. Funny, her 2 kids grew up right before my eyes, and I can't remember the girl's wedding or the boy's graduation from college. I do remember how that boy scored baskets. He thumped that ball on the sidewalk at 3 o'clock in the afternoon while I was trying to take a nap. Thump, thump, thump. Clatter, clatter, clatter. Thump, thump, thump. Clatter, clatter, clatter. Oh. And the girl, she had an argument once in a driveway about 2 in the morning. She was angry, upset, and crying. I remember one snowy winter evening, my neighbor came running over, thinking a burglar was at her house because of the footprints in the snow. It was only my dog. He had gotten loose. He has big feet and an even bigger appetite. He was rummaging through her garbage, and I apologized. Then I was at her house another time with another dog I had. I think I was borrowing something. That dog thought her polished hardwood floors was a good place to take a dump. I cleaned it up. And I apologized. She saw the succession of my dogs. And I can't even remember she had a cat. Maybe she got a cat because cats are easier to take care of than dogs? I don't think she was ever in my house. Funny. She's gone. Her house is empty. And I think, who will be the next neighbor? I won't know.
I've got sunshine on a cloudy day. Detroit is beautiful. Just look at all the good things that have come out of this city. The big 3 car companies, the smooth sounds of Motown, and so much more. Yep. I love this city, and I'm gonna be here till the day I die. Only a fool would say bad things about this place.
Detroit sucks. We got a bunch of city officials who have no idea what they're doing. We got a bunch of abandoned houses, or shall I say rape traps, that nobody cares about. And we got a bunch of old people living in the past talking about how great this city used to be. So only a fool would say good things about this place.
I remember when this city was bustling with people and businesses. You could take a bus downtown and you could shop all day long. When I moved up here from Columbia, South Carolina, the Avenue of Fashion right here on Livernois was the place to be.
Yeah, okay, I get it. Detroit might have been the place to be back then, but now it's a place that people want to get far, far away from. I mean, who wants to live in a city where only half the streetlights come on? And when you drive down Livernois, you gotta go about 20 miles down the street before you can get to the other side, because they got that stupid island in the middle. Shoot, I might as well just go home. Whose idea was that anyway?
You know, a lot of people don't know this, but Detroit has a lot of history that's not in these books nowadays. All these folks know about is Berry Gordy and Henry Ford and all the other
this
popular
is exactly
stories.
what I'm talking about. Just another old person talking about how great this city used to be and ignoring how bad it really is. Detroit and the people here make me sick.
Well, then leave then. We don't want you. I'm sick of you young thug fools sitting on your behinds complaining. Ain't doing nothing about anything. Do you know that the Reverend Dr. Martin Luther King first gave his I Have a Dream speech right here in the city of Detroit? Remember it like it was yesterday. Summer of 1963. We were all just marching. We were high. And not on the stuff that you young people be smoking. We were high off of life. We're proud to be part of history. Proud to be fighting for our rights as American citizens. We're tired of being treated like dirt. And wasn't going to take it anymore. But look at you. Pants all hanging off your behind. You look a mess. You're just a waste of space. Just leave.
Man, I can't leave. Much as I complain about it, my heart is with this city. I was born and raised here. Detroit runs through my veins. It's a part of me. I just get so frustrated sometimes, you know? On the news, all they talk about is murders. They out here killing innocent kids and robbing people who ain't never done nothing to nobody. Sometimes I just feel like I can't take it anymore. I mean, what am I supposed to do?
You fight. That's what you do. Look, when I was growing up, I didn't just sit there and take it. You know, I fought. Now, you've been here all this time, so I know you got some fight in you. Don't just sit there, take action. I mean, all it takes is one person. One person.
Hey, old man. Tell me some more about that I Have a Dream speech.
Well, let's see. We moved here from, I don't remember where we moved from. You'll see when you get as old as me. You're a youngster. We moved in this house on, what's this street? Cambridge, yes. It was a nice house, and there was a for sale sign out front. Neighborhood was all white then. I think it was 1960.
8 years ago we moved here. Me and my partner were living in Ferndale, and we had these friends in Palmer Woods who kept telling us to move to Sherwood Forest. Well, we always liked the neighborhood. The mature trees, the big old homes. I guess you can tell how much I like to use my Macy's employee discount, eh? Just about everything in here is Macy's. But anyway, we saw this house and we liked it, so we thought, why not be part of the solution rather than part of the problem, you know? It's easy to stand outside and just throw bricks, right?
Well, I told my husband we should go inside and take a look at the house. So we went to the door, and the lady let us in to take a look around. But this lady, she was very particular. Particular indeed. Well, I walked a little way in, and she said, "Don't sit in that chair." I jumped up real quick. Then she said, "Well, go on in the dining room, but be careful now." She had this baby grand piano in the corner. So I eased on over. "Don't touch it now." My husband said, "Catherine, I'm gonna put you on stage if you didn't put on an act."
You know how you kind of size people up? Well, the day Frank and I moved in here, there was this man next door, this big man. And he was standing on his front porch, and he didn't look too friendly. And I said to myself, okay, now how's this gonna be? We just didn't know. Well, a couple of days later, I came home, and that same man was in our house talking to my mother, and he was inviting us over to his house. And it was amazing. He was an African prince of some sort. All these jewels and gold, and it was just amazing. And he was just a really nice man.
After we moved in, the neighborhood changed fairly quickly. Yes, fairly quickly. From white to black, just like that. Really, overnight. Of course, everybody said, "Girl, what you buy that big old house for?" And I said, "I don't know. We liked it." That's all I could say.
We've never had any problems here. The streetlights don't always necessarily come on at night, but in the scheme of things, that's little. I mean, they pick up your garbage. I mean, the streetlights are usually on, so I don't know what else to expect from a city.
Well, a year or so later, that lady came back, came calling. Well, I had made many changes by then. I had all these things from my trips from Africa. All these carvings, those. Yes, many, many things. Well, the lady walks in, and she was shocked. I don't know what she was expecting. She walked over to a chair, and I said, "Be careful now. Watch out." My husband said, "You laid it out for her, Catherine. I'm gonna put you on Broadway."
I guess you never know. I feel safer here than I did in Ferndale. It's quieter, more suburban in a way. But it's about the neighbors, really. We look out for each other. We help each other out. Sometimes in the winter I get going with the snowblower and I just can't stop. I guess it's the Canadian in me. Frank and me were married in Canada, and we had the reception here in the backyard. The man next door, he came. A lot of the neighbors did. And I liked that.
White folks left quickly once we moved in. Didn't want to be contaminated, I guess. Yeah, they left. And it was all right, too.
It just can't be about one kind of person, you know, because everybody's got something different to bring to the table. And we can all learn from each other. That's what I think.
My baby don't have to worry. My baby don't have to cry and steal. I said my baby don't have.
What? What?
I'm sorry, I didn't hear you. I'm trying to get this done before the sun come up. Yes, I know it's 6:30 in the a.m. But you know what they say about the early bird? I see you trying to grow your grass on natural. You might want to try a bit of weed and feed. That way your grass don't look so scraggly. And a good watering wouldn't hurt either. Of course, I know you young folks trying to grow and be environmentally friendly. Come around the house this afternoon. Got me some books on ground cover. When that stuff come in, you won't have to worry about cutting the grass anymore. That's probably gonna be the way to go for you. Hey, you a Berg. Know how that is. You wanna get out there and get that old heart pumping. I joined you myself, but I ain't got me no good running shoes. You got to have good running shoes in order to get those miles in. Used to be a runner myself. Ran for miles till my knees. But my knees don't work like they used to. That no good running shoes. Good shoes cost. That's why I walk. Yes, walk. Gets the heart pounding, blood circulating, keeps me fit. And I get to see what's going on in the neighborhood. Speaking about what's going on in the neighborhood, did you hear the Taylors are breaking up? Yeah, divorce. Of course, I can't blame them. You know they don't call them the Battling Taylors for nothing. She used to throw him out on a regular basis, clothes and all. He'd come back home, they'd be all right for a time. Next thing you know, clothes on the front lawn again. I tell you, birds fly south for the winter, Mr. Taylor, clothes on the front lawn. That's how you know winter coming. You know, I wonder if they're gonna keep that house for sale. Neighborhood's changing so much these days. People moving in, people moving out. You can hardly tell who your neighbors are anymore. I've been here the longest. Come on, now, I isn't that old. That was in the 20s when that priest, what's his name? McNichols, came out here and bought all the land and built the university. I heard that I wasn't there. No, I came here, let me see. It was in the early 70s. Yeah, it was the 1920s when Father John McNichol, you know that's why we stay off of McNichols. Him and some armed guards came out here when this was nothing but farmland. They say he had $100,000 in cash with him and bought all the land. But by the time I got here to Chicago, this neighborhood was mostly Catholics and Jewish. There were some blacks, some African Americans, some, not many, but some. Then there's a lot of people moving out. I guess the riots had a lot to do with that. Of course, that'll make me no never mind, because I got to buy me a house I couldn't even afford in Chicago. My folks came out here, helped me move in. I thought I was a dope dealer or something, asking me, how can you afford living in a historic neighborhood like this? I told them I deserved the best.
I like working with my hands. I also like being of service. That's why I own my own business. I'm not much for working for somebody else. And when I'm going to buy something, well, I'm going to own it. That's why I moved here. Moved here before the riots and been here ever since. Hey, you hear that? That's Monk. You can tell it's Monk-led improvisation. Listen to that man play the piano.
My father loved jazz music. In fact,
Much of his client base was musicians, jazz as well as Motown. Even today, we still service some of the Motown musicians and singers. But it wasn't just the Motown acts who became our clientele. People in the neighborhood. When I was young, this man came into the shop.
Hello, sir. What can I do for you? Oh, you need your child's shoes mended. Well, I tell you what. Whatever you're gonna spend it on fixing your shoes up. I mean, if your child doesn't have school shoes, he might be out of school for a day. But sir, you need your shoes to go to work. I mean, it won't make a damn bit of difference if the kid has and you don't have. Because if you don't have, the kid's not gonna have either.
So to me that meant we need to take care of ourselves first before we can take care of someone else. My father was an excellent trainer. He trained me to take over the business. You know, we still operate this shop by the same rules my pop set down. Treat your customers
Like you would treat family. That's what my aunt is teaching me. She is an excellent trainer. She always says that family has to stick
Together. Because this is how you're gonna eat. This business right here is your bread and butter.
So you better make sure that you treat your clients
the way you want to be treated. And we've been doing that for 51 years. Most of those years right here on Livernois. You know, sometimes I think this neighborhood has lost perspective on how important it is to appreciate tradition. It used to be that grandma, ma, and children shopped here. But that's not that way anymore.
We don't have as many owner-occupied homes. A lot of people are renting, a lot of people shop other places. But we
Came here before the riots and didn't leave.
And we've been here in good times and bad times.
and we plan to stay.
Any more questions? Yes. Explain the assignment again. I thought it was self-explanatory. Okay. We've talked about some of the negative images of Detroit. And what I'd like you to do is explore the city and come back with a story. A story that illustrates something good about the city. And then what we'll do is write those attributes on the board. Why do I see frowns? Would you like me to illustrate? Okay. This is one of my favorite stories about the city. I was young, just like you. I grew up in Del Rey, that's downriver. My family didn't have a lot of money. You've seen downriver, right? But when I was growing up, it sort of looked the same way, but there were a lot of immigrants living there. Many of them were Hungarian. I'm Hungarian. I decided to go to graduate school in California, but I came back after the first semester because I didn't have enough money. So I was determined to get back there to California. So I worked 3 jobs. I had a job in the day, one at night, and then one on the weekend. Now my weekend job was at a real estate office in Livernois and 7 Mile. And I tell you, I thought I'd died and gone to heaven. Del Rey never had homes like those, 7 Mile and Livernois. Now when business was slow, I would read. My girlfriend in college had given me books on Judaism. I don't know. I think she thought I was Jewish. So I would sit at the desk and read those books, waiting for a customer to come in or the phone to ring. One day, this man comes in, and he was gorgeous. I mean, he had this dark hair and this great bod, and when he smiled, it was like his smile lit the whole room. He came over to me and he smiled, and I smiled, and he asked my name, and I told him, and he said his name was Tom. Well, he asked what I was reading, and I told him I was reading about Judaism, and he said, well, he was Jewish. And we started talking and talking and talking. And then he said, would I like to go for some ice cream? And I said, sure, why not? We walked down Livernois, past the restaurants and the shops where I couldn't afford to buy a thing, until we came to the ice cream place by 8 Mile. We sat outside, and we could hear the music from Baker's keyboard. It was as if they were serenading us, just us. Well, it turns out he too was Hungarian. We even went to the same school, Del Rey. And we met at 7 Mile in Livernois. I never did go back to California. Several years later, we were married. I converted to Judaism. Frankly, I think it was meant to be. I think Livernois could be that place again, where you go and just hang out, go shopping, have lunch, listen to music, sit outside, talk, and watch people go by. Everything that has been good to me has happened in Detroit. Oh, and my husband and I have been married for 43 years. So when I think of Livernois, I think of my husband. And being able to walk to restaurants and sit outside listening to music. I think of romance. I would like everyone to experience that.
When I first fell in love with Palmer. It was in elementary school. I have so many fond memories of being a young girl and us spending time together, feeding the ducks in the spring, swimming in the pool in the summer, playing in the leaves in the fall, ice skating in the winter. At times I felt like I was living in a fairy tale. Time with Palmer was always magical. But then by the time I reached high school, Palmer started changing. Palmer started hanging out with the wrong crowd. People warned me about bike riding with Palmer. It just wasn't safe. Gradually, our visits became more infrequent. We became strangers. I decided it was best that we just take a break. Several years later, I read that Palmer and a group of people were getting together to play kickball on Saturday. I asked my friends if they wanted to come with me. No one would go. They just didn't trust Palmer. So I decided to go alone. And I fell right back in love. Palmer was everything I remembered. Still magical, just warm. And now, I found others that shared my love of Palmer. I was now part of a group. Hey Palmer, wanna do yoga on Mondays? How about Tai Chi on Tuesdays? Are you free for tennis on Saturday? I was in pure bliss. I was with Palmer every day. But then my friends started complaining. We never spend time with you alone anymore. You're always with Palmer. Even my boyfriend got jealous of my Palmer time. They called an intervention. They said it was as if Palmer had taken over my whole life and that too many things were suffering. They were right. So now I spend time with Palmer in moderation, but my heart is still there daily. After all these years, my heart still belongs to this natural jewel. Yeah, I'm in love with Palmer. Palmer Park.
It's gorgeous! Look at these moldings and the fireplace.
Yeah, well, I haven't said anything yet. Well, she's just so happy. The place is so cute. Mom, you haven't seen it? Oh, it's really nice, and the block is... Okay, calm down. Yes, I'll talk to her. Yes, I know, it's Detroit. Chill out. Yes, I told you to chill out. Well, I think that's appropriate when you're acting like this. You're going to... Here she comes. Bye.
This is a real home. I know. Nice, really nice. Oh, I see you've used Mom's color system.
It's not Mom's, it's Martha Stewart's.
Don't let Mom hear you say that. You'll incur her wrath. She swears Martha stole that from her.
Trust me, Mom is far more upset over me moving to Detroit than she's ever been over Martha Stewart.
Yeah, I heard.
You did? It's pretty bad, huh?
You could say that.
Wait a minute. She put you up to this, coming to help me.
Well,
I knew it. I was wondering why you're being so nice to me.
that's harsh. I can be nice.
I brought you chocolate. Did Mom buy it? Hand it over. Ooh, my favorite kind. Oh, she's really upset.
You gonna offer me any?
Why should I? I'm sure she bought something for you too. Just chocolate?
No, dinner and shopping.
Oh, she's freaking out. Why did you move to Detroit?
What a great place in Royal Oak, and it was closer to your job. Seems rather ridiculous if you ask me.
I just needed a change.
Well, I'm not buying it. You hate change. You still have a flip phone.
Well, sometimes change is healthy.
Buy a new phone. What's up? You're an awful liar. Spill it.
Sam's getting a divorce.
You just got married 6 months ago.
I know, it's so sad.
Wait, he's your ex who dumped you. Why are you so sad? And what does this have to do with you moving to Detroit?
I don't know, it just depressed me. I mean, yes, he dumped me, but I believe in love, and I thought, okay, I can handle it if it's real, you know, if it's meant to be. But after 6 months, they get divorced, it's just so sad. And what does it say about the state of love in marriage?
That your idiot ex-boyfriend's a statistic. And this made you move to Detroit?
Yes, because I believe in love.
What?
It's not just about Detroit, but this area, this community.
What? You're not making any sense.
Remember my friend Dot? I was in her wedding last year at Jesu, the church around the corner. And at her wedding, Dot introduced me to the landlord, Bob. He's like the mayor of the block. So after Dot and Kevin bought a house further north in the neighborhood, she told me about the place, and I had her reintroduce me to Bob because you can only be invited to live there. I want to be married, so I jumped at it.
What?
Oh, you gotta stop saying that.
You've got to start making some sense.
Every woman who has ever rented a flat from Bob and Warrington has ended up getting married. They are called the Women of Warrington. He doesn't advertise and he doesn't guarantee, but everyone knows it will happen. Dot was the 10th one. When she left, she handed me the prayer card that was given to her. You're supposed to recite this on each of the original 4 women's wedding anniversaries. Ann's is next week.
Who's Ann?
One of the original women of Warrington.
Oh, you're kidding, right?
Women of Warrington, pray for me. I seek a mate that we might be lovers for life, husband and wife, blessed for all eternity. Amy, Ann, Monica 3, and Sarah 2, please pray for me.
Dear God!
I'm not done. Oh, husbands of Warrington, pray for me. I seek a mate, faithful and free. Tommy, Bill, Andy, Greg, pray for a man with a good heart to wed.
Amen.
It's awesome, right? You get it? It just gives you hope. I don't have to be a statistic.
I'm not sure what it does for me. And I'm not sure how I'm going to explain this to Mom.
Did you get it?
No, that you're insane! She thinks you lost your mind moving to Detroit in the first place, but now this, she's going to lose it. You realize how ridiculous you sound.
Why? Because I'm admitting that I want to get married. Because I believe in love and that happy marriages actually exist.
No, because you believe in some cockamamie legend about women meeting the men of their dreams and getting married because they live on a certain street in Detroit.
It's only a certain block of a certain street.
It's Detroit. You're more likely to meet a mugger than a husband.
Wow, Carrie. I had no idea you were so jaded. I'm honestly sorry for you. I at least believe in something. This city, this community, love. What do you believe in?
Reality. You are moving into a city that is filed for bankruptcy. Good luck when they stop picking up the garbage. No man will come within a mile of this flat from the stench of the rats.
Oh, Harry, you're so
realistic.
Bitter. You don't get it. This is a community. They have ice cream socials. Neighbors check in on each other. People care.
You're describing utopia, not Detroit.
No, these things actually happen. Besides, if you believe in things, they actually can happen.
Did you just watch a Field of Dreams marathon or something?
You're being a bitch.
Oh no, I'm being your older sister looking out for you because you live in a damn fantasy world. You should hear yourself. Women of Warrington, ice cream socials. I'm gonna meet the man of my dreams. Detroit's a utopia. You sound like an idiot. Mama's already upset. This is gonna put her over the edge. I mean, I know the breakup with Sam really screwed with your head, but I didn't think it was this bad. I mean, you're delusional, Lynn.
I'm gonna get you.
Hope I'm not interrupting. Bob's out of town today, and he asked me to come and check on you. He'll be back tomorrow.
Hi, I'm Lucy, and this is my sister Carrie.
Peter, I live in one of Bob's flats 2 doors down from here. I nearly forgot. These are for you. They're homemade chocolate chip cookies.
Did they put something in the water here?
Excuse me?
I was wondering if there's any water. I'm thirsty.
I have some here for you. My wife put them in with the cookies.
Your wife made the cookies.
Yeah.
Your wife? You're married?
Yeah. 4 years. We met when she moved into the flat next door. Another of Bob's. I think we were the 7th couple who married after moving into one of Bob's flats. My wife was a woman of Warrington. You know about the legend?
Yeah, we've heard.
Well, I don't normally subscribe to that kind of stuff, but hey, guess I'm living proof. So, if you're good, I'm gonna get going. Here's our number. My wife's name is Crystal. She's really looking forward to meeting you tomorrow at the ice cream social. You know about that, right? Tomorrow, 2 o'clock?
Yes, and thank you, Peter, for everything. And please tell Crystal I'm looking forward to meeting her tomorrow.
Crystal will kill me for doing this, but she says I have absolutely no finesse in this kind of stuff, but what the hell? Hey, are you single?
Why, yes I am.
You are awesome. My brother's moving into town and, I don't know. I mean, maybe you guys will hit it up. This is Warrington. I mean, stranger things have been known to happen. He'll actually be at the ice cream social, so I'll be sure to find you.
You don't know her. She could be crazy.
Well, my brother's a little nutty, so maybe they'll be a good match. Besides, if Bob invited you to move in, that's pretty much a great seal of approval. Nice meeting you, Carrie. See you tomorrow, Lucy.
Bye. All right, don't all feel the dreams on Carrie. All right, he's nice.
And kind and handsome.
Well, maybe his brother's an evil troll they're trying to marry off. Carrie. Fine. This place is magical and I saw fairies dance around his head and you found utopia.
You know, jade is not a nice color on you.
Blue box.
Second bedroom.
So, maybe tomorrow you could introduce me to Bob?